Hello, dearest fans and no one who's watching, because no one watches. Anyway, welcome to Is This a Podcast episode? Episode number 4. Are we on 4? I think we're on 4. I can't remember. And you join me live-ish. This is obviously being recorded. It is currently 5 to 12 on the 3rd of April 2020. And yeah, let's have a little talk for a bit. So I want to start off this podcast with telling you something quite funny that actually happened not too long ago. So this afternoon, me and my mum, we obviously live separate, but we met up at the local supermarket here, and they've brought in some different ways of doing certain things. For example, now they are staggering the entrance of people, so you have to queue outside. There is markings on the floor, so you have to maintain your 2 feet away. There is markings on the floor right throughout the shop to keep your distance. Reminders everywhere, keep your distance. And that's really good, apart from when you're looking for something on a shelf and then someone just comes and stands right next to you. Like, really? You think I'm wearing this mask because it's fun? Like, go away. Try that. Anyway, so I went round, I did my shopping, got the basics in and whatnot. And, yeah, I had a little look, because it's not that I'm running low on soap. I have, like, half a bottle in the bathroom, and that's it. So I'm like, I'll get one in just for backup for that one, but I want one in the kitchen as well, so it's easier to wash your hands there and you don't have to go through to the bathroom. Fine. So liquid soap has basically sold out. There was absolutely nothing there. So I bought 2 blocks of soap, which is obviously the old-fashioned bars, as you might have called them back in time. So I bring them home, and I set about, I'm putting all my shopping away, and, you know, talking to my mum, who's practically in the bedroom at this point in my flat, so as we keep our distance. And yeah, she says, "Oh, will you come and help me? Because I need to do the tyre pressure for my car, because I think one of the tyres is slightly low." So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we both put our masks on and we go out. Now, when I've been emptying my shopping, I've got a little pile of products that are to go into the bathroom. So they're to be placed elsewhere than the fridge and the freezer. So there's the 2 blocks of soap, there's a shampoo, conditioner, body wash, all this sort of stuff to go to the bathroom. And so I go out, help her with the tyre pressures. One of them actually was nearly half empty, which is a little bit worrying. So obviously, yes, a very good job that we actually did check them. And then, so I'm like, 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most doing that. So I wave my mum off, she goes home, and I go back into mine, and instantly I know that something's not right here, because just the way that the dogs were acting. So I was like, okay, what's happened? So I look round and I see a bar of soap on the floor in the living room, and the other one is up on the couch in the living room. So one of them is like a lemony scented one, the other one is a lavender. And obviously they're wrapped up in like this paper kind of stuff. I can only assume that my dogs must have thought that they were like bars of chocolate or something, and that they were worth eating. Only when they got the wrappers off did they realise it was soap that they were biting into. Now, my mum's dog had been in mine as well, and Parker he's an adorable dog, right? Let's just get that out there straight away. But he does do certain things where you're like, okay, we need to train that out of you. And one of the things is like, if there's food out, like dog food, he has to eat it before the other dogs do. If there's a bowl of water, he has to drink it before the other dogs do. And like, he's made himself sick with it. He's one night he went back to my mum's and basically flooded her garden with urine because he drank a big bowl of water here. So when my dogs actually bit into the soap, their water bowl was empty. I'm quite happy with that because they learned their lesson. Not only not to eat soap, but not to go into my shopping. So it's one of them. I was telling them off, but at the same time, I'm laughing on the inside. It was brilliant, actually. And yeah, I had two very sorrowful-looking dogs for a few hours afterwards. That was until actually I got on the bed and tried to watch the new version of The Grudge, and fell asleep. I don't know if that's because of a mixture of me feeling tired or just the fact that the film is really bad. Like really bad. So, yes. Okay, so we're going to delve into the news a little bit. I do need to say, though, because I know that some people will get confused, this is being recorded at midnight now. It is now the 4th of the 4th, 20. That's the date. And the stories are correct as of the time of recording. Obviously, with certain things, they change every other minute. So things that you could talk about now will be out of date by the time that you're listening to it. That's how coronavirus works. So in the United Kingdom, last night, well, today, because of last night, we got told that we actually reached a new record. There was 628 deaths. And yeah, I hope that the message is starting to get through to people. Like, listen, we're not on lockdown. You're not told to stay off work and self-isolate for nothing. You know? But anyway. So the first story that pops up is stay inside warning. Obviously this only applies for the United Kingdom, really. The weather is set to be good this weekend, but warnings have been given that people can't relax social distancing rules by going out and enjoying the sunny weather. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that this was an instruction and not a request, and that otherwise more people will die. Now, unbelievably, you know, we're getting these record numbers of people dying, and I'm still daily hearing cases of genuinely pathetic excuses for people to go out. One of them that I heard before was the fella goes to visit his girlfriend, who lives quite a distance away, and he goes there basically to have sex. And it's like, right, that's not a valid excuse. That's not a valid reason to be out. Stay home. And then, you know, you get the further excuses like, oh, it's a new relationship. Oh, she lives by herself. Oh, God, these people they are just so annoying. Like, the only times I've been out recently is either to walk the dogs or to get basics from the shops. That's the only reason, right? So, yeah. I just don't get why people, you know, I bet you these are the same people that moan that their dog can't follow a basic request, yet they can't sit and stay. So, you know, work on yourself first. Okay, next one. The Queen is to address the United Kingdom. A message from the Queen to the nation is being broadcast on TV and radio at 8 o'clock on Sunday, Buckingham Palace has said. The Queen, who's staying at Windsor Castle, records an annual Christmas message, but other televised addresses like this are very, very rare. And that's true. These sorts of messages are rare. I know that people around the world are like, oh, you have a monarchy, and oh, they do this and they do that. And it's like, right, yeah, we don't hear from the Queen that often, to be honest with you. In fact, she very rarely goes to Parliament, but over the past few years she has been making a bit of an effort and going. And yeah, we do we do have the Christmas speech over here, which is I kind of want to say it's a big deal, but I'll be honest with you, it's not really a massive deal. I mean, like, people watch it, but they mainly watch it because it's tradition to watch it. They don't watch it because it's interesting or relevant, dare I say, with the threat of my head being taken off. Because the thing is, it's like, alright, yeah, Queen's going to come out, do a speech on Sunday. What is she going to tell us? Because she is a multi-millionaire who basically hoards her money in offshore bank accounts and doesn't pay the correct amount of tax in the United Kingdom. She is isolating herself, how very noble, but she's doing it in a fucking castle. You know? My entire flat that I live in is probably about the size of her bedroom. Like, she's so out of touch with the real people of the country that any speech like this, I'm just like, oh, well, nice one, but what are you going to say? You know? There's nothing that you can tell me that I don't know already. And you're isolating in a castle with staff. I'm staying in the flat with dogs. Bit of a difference here. But you know, obviously the Queen wants to be seen to be doing something during these times, especially since one of her sons has now contracted COVID-19. The general feeling around the United Kingdom at the minute is that maybe it's the wrong son, but you know, we digress. There was actually a joke that got put out a couple of weeks ago, and it said that now Prince Charles is staying at home with COVID-19, Prince Andrew is staying at home with Jessica 13. Just give that a minute to sink in. That actually is a really good joke. I do like that, because it turns out that Prince Andrew might be a paedophile, but that is for a different rant. Completely different. What else is in the news? Nightingale Hospital has opened. It's the first emergency field hospital to open in the United Kingdom, and it's been transformed into one of an exhibition space in 9 days. I think the Chinese built theirs in what? Was it like 3 days? So a little bit behind. The NHS Nightingale Hospital is in London's Excel Centre, and it'll have the capacity for 4,000 coronavirus patients. Now, I get that, it's under the NHS brand, but it's kind of not. And I do know why there is a need for it, but this isn't going to be like a normal hospital like people are expecting. They're not going to have like fitted pipes for oxygen and proper power supply yet. Medical equipment, staff, all that sort of thing. It's work in progress, but there is another one being built in Manchester that will be hopefully opening soon. That's in Manchester Central train station. Now, for historians in Manchester, you already know, but probably most of the people listening to this don't. Manchester Central train station hasn't been used in donkey's years. It was basically a massive terminus for all trains going to and from Manchester, but it got kind of disused, and they branched off to different lines and all this sort of stuff. So Manchester Central has sort of had its day. It was used as event space, like art exhibitions and that sort of thing, and it is currently being transformed into a hospital. I did read something the other day. I actually haven't had a chance to see if this was true or not, so let's have a little look together. Hang on. Birmingham. Because I just want to. Oh my god, no, this is actually true. Wow, okay. So if you think that the news is kind of grim at the minute, I mean, the UK has only just gone to just over 2,000 deaths. That was from the last announcement that we had, which was obviously, a good few hours ago now. And my brother told me about this story the other day, and I thought, oh, whatever, it can't be real. It turns out it is. So I'll just read this to you. Work to turn part of Birmingham Airport into a mortuary able to store at least 1,500 bodies has begun. Bosses previously said that discussions were underway, but West Midlands Police have confirmed the project has started. An airport spokesman said that it was working to provide land and a hangar for the temporary morgue. Police said that there is scope to expand. The starting capacity is 1,500 as the region prepared for a predicted rise in coronavirus deaths. Like, wow. There is an airport going to be used as a morgue. That's just scary, isn't it? They're expecting that many deaths that they're going to use an airport to store the bodies. It just, I don't know. I can't get my head around the scope of this thing at the minute. Like, I know it's a pandemic, I know it's bad, and I know what I've got to do, but like, this is going to be a story that for decades to come, this is going to be remembered. And I don't think it's going to be remembered very favourably, if I'm honest with you. I think that they're going to say, well, they had all this technology and all this expertise and they didn't use it. And it's like, okay. But that is a thing. Anyway, in other news, Donald Trump is actually, I think he's still giving his speech at the minute. He is still live on the BBC news page, but his briefings, his whole presidency has basically been one long press brief. The White House is set to advise Americans living in coronavirus hotspots to cover their faces when they go out, either with scarves or cloth masks. President Donald Trump has said he wouldn't make it mandatory for people to follow the guidance, though. Why not? Why not? You know what I mean? This is where it gets annoying for me, right? Because there is no reason not to wear a mask. It is very possible that wearing a mask could save lives. I'm not saying it will for definite, but yeah, it should be brought in. And the final story that we'll cover is 2 nurses are among the latest NHS staff to die with coronavirus. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, the head of the chief nursing officer for England, Ruth May, pictured below, has paid tribute to the 2 women, both mothers of 3. Now, one thing that has started happening more recently is that obviously, yes, any death during this time is sad. Any death because of this is sad. But there are cases that are sort of, I don't know, they're out there and people need to listen to them. So one that we had, let's see, we've just gone on to Saturday, haven't we? Is it Saturday now? Technically? Yes, Saturday. Okay, so on Monday of this week just gone, we got the very disturbing news that in England, a 13-year-old boy had passed away, and he was healthy. He had no underlying health conditions or concerns at all. He had contracted coronavirus the Friday before. And I think that's what shocked me about that story, because that's like, okay, Friday he got it, so Saturday, Sunday, he was dead on the Monday. That's just, I don't know what I can say about it. You know, it just shows that this bacteria, it doesn't matter if you're fit and healthy. Okay, yeah, you're more likely if you're unhealthy and, you know, you've got things wrong inside of you, or you're too old and whatnot. But don't kid yourself into thinking that you're safe just because you went to the gym before all of this. Because this is big. This is frighteningly big. I know that there are staff out there who are NHS staff. Yes, they go to work and they do an incredible job. There's care workers, police officers, firefighters, paramedics. Did I ever said care workers already? I wanted to say that. Shelf stackers in shops, till assistants in shops, security, Royal Mail, basically any delivery company at the minute. Everyone's told that basically their job is vital, and we as a country will never be able to thank them enough for their work and dedication during these times. But I think the whole point was made very clear when there was a scientist the other day, and there's like a bit of a profile done on her, and it sort of opened everyone's eyes a little bit, because she was approached, and, you know, these journalists said, you know, well, you are researching at the minute if there is a possible cure for coronavirus, if there is a possible vaccine that we can give people, and you know, from our research, blah blah blah, you're only paid like, you know, I think it was like €1,500 a month or something like that. Like, it was a shit wage, right? And their ultimate question was, well, where is this vaccine? And she turned around and said, well, why don't you go and ask Ronaldo, or one of these big footballers, where's the cure? Where's the vaccine? Because they're the one getting paid millions. They haven't saved lives. And it's like, whoa, okay. Point hit home there, really. That, you know, our monetary system is kind of not working for us. Sorry, I'm just having a drink, hang on. You see, in most good podcasts, that would be edited out. I don't run a good podcast. Just putting that out there. I need to have a cough as well, hang on. There we go. And I'm also going to have a smoke as well, because I can. So bear with. Someone ringing me. I'll answer them in a mo. I know who that is. Okay, so yes, the monetary system is messed up. Shelf stackers are some of the worst paid people in the United Kingdom. They're working overtime during all of this, and it's like the job that they're doing and the risks that they are putting themselves in is unimaginable. Sorry, I apologise. I did cough more. I muted my mic eventually. Yeah. And these people are barely paid minimum wage. And, you know, we're absolutely fine with that. And I don't get why. Because these people are the genuine heroes of the country, not footballers. They're not the ones that are out getting essentials to people. You know what I mean? It's things need to change, and I hope that they will after all of this. So yeah. Okay, so what has become a bit of a talk thing on these podcasts is my adventures in San Francisco, and today in this podcast it's going to be no different. So we've heard about in the last episode that I went and saw Cher in San Francisco. That was the concert. And about the trip that we had coming back and trying to get the taxi and everything like that. The limousine, sorry. Not taxi. Oh, whoops. And yeah, that was the end of that podcast, because we come back and basically we devoured the pizza focaccia that we'd bought, and it was really, really nice. So the next day, the video on YouTube is called Time to Tour, and there is so much of this that I didn't manage to catch on camera, and definitely certain things that I wish, I don't know, like I'd sort of explained a little bit better in the videos. So here goes. Right, obviously the night before had been a very late night for us. We'd basically completed almost 24 hours with no sleep, and that's only from having one sleep from the previous 3 days where we've barely slept. So we're knackered. So we wake up, I think we woke up at about 7 in the morning, 7:30. We got up, went and had our breakfast, which is, you know, the usual buffet. We sat in a different area, and we still had our really good waiter, whose name I never actually managed to catch, quite disappointingly. I did want to ask him for a photo, but he actually wasn't working on the last day, so I'm quite gutted about that, really. Anyway, we head out of the hotel with the plan that we're going to just sort of meander down to this oh my god, what is it called? The something square. Union Square. We're going to meander down to Union Square, and we're going to just sort of, you know, have a little mooch around the shops and find a tour bus, because that seemed to be where a lot of them started and stopped. And basically we wanted one that you could sort of hop on and hop off. So if we went round and we're like, oh, you know, this area sounds really nice, we'll jump off. But we have the option of jumping back on later. So that's what we did. We got down there, and basically before we'd even made it to the shops, we kind of got preyed upon by one of these what I would call a street seller of tickets. for this touring company. We weren't stupid though. He had official ID. He had a card machine. So he's genuinely legit, right? So we weren't scammed on this. But he tells us about the different ticket types, and there's basically like a 1 day. I think the other one was a 3 day. I think something like that. And all different passes anyway. So we were like, oh, we only want the 1 day. And he's like, okay, where are y'all from? They don't talk like that. Where are you from? And what are you doing on the other days? And we said, oh, we're going to go to Muir Woods and Alcatraz and Yosemite and everything like that. And he was like, wow, you're really going to enjoy that. And this tour will actually take you here and it takes you there and blah blah blah. So we're like, okay, this is really good. So we had a little walk around the square. There's a really good scene that I managed to catch. The music that is added on at this point, actually, I will say, was not added on by me. It genuinely just so happened that when I was filming this ice skating rink, that I sort of wanted to get like a cinematic approach and do all the sweeping shots and everything like that. And just as I actually started recording, they changed the music to this sort of like, I don't know how you describe it, sort of like Disney fantasy. It's all like angels singing and harps and all this stuff. Well, that music was genuinely not added on by me. That is what they were playing on the day. And I actually got a few minutes of footage there. The reason that you won't see all that footage is because after about a minute of that music, I was still enjoying it anyway, but I do enjoy irritating things. They changed the music to basically some sort of like gangster rap stuff. And it was talking about how this rapper is going to shoot people. He's going to F people up. He's having, sex with all these pimp hoes. And, oh my God. And there was a lot of bad language in that. And it was just being played openly. Open air, in front of kids. So I'm like, yeah, this is not fun. Need a proper DJ. Anyway, yeah. So we walked around a little bit, like, got some photos and whatnot, and we made our way onto the bus. So obviously that bit of the bus journey, I actually got quite a bit of footage and have put it in the video. So it's not really explained sort of why we ended up off the bus. So our tour guide said that what a lot of people do, they find it helpful to sort of do the loop once, go and see where the bus goes, and then pick somewhere to get off at. So we were like, okay, that's what we will do. So yeah, we went round. You pull up at the sort of like the office where this company is based, and he says, right, we're going to take a 7-minute break. There are bathrooms that you can use, restrooms. Feel free to use them. Just ask at reception where they are. Have a smoke, do whatever. We'll see you back on the bus. But please don't make us late. So we're like, okay, that's fine. So I get off the bus, I'm having my smoke, and my mum's having a little look around because there's like a gift shop next door and all that sort of stuff. And as I'm having my smoke, I look over the road, and there's like this shirt, hoodie shop type thing. And just this tie-dyed hoodie just stands out to me. And I'm thinking, I've got to. I've got to buy it. There's just no way. I've got to buy that. So I go over, and of course that's not the only thing I want to buy in the store. So I bought a few things, and I was going fast. Then I got to the till, and that woman wasn't fast. So as I was actually walking out the store, bearing in mind my mum's been shouting at me from outside the store, shouting into the store, hurry up, you don't need to buy that, blah 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 blah. And as I'm walking out the store, the bus drives off. So instantly my mum's like, oh great, well done. So I'm like, oh, she's not happy. I was like, okay, we've got a negative on the trip, let's turn it into a positive. So I'm like, well, come on, next bus is at least half an hour away, let's go and explore this area. And as it turns out, it was an area that I'd actually wanted to go to and just sort of hadn't realised at that point, because there was a thing about an arcade that I'd seen online, and I don't know how you describe it, like an antique arcade, should I say. So we're walking around and I see the sign for this arcade. I'm like, oh mum, you know, this would be really good. So we find this car park and we go to the restrooms there, and then we go into this arcade, which obviously I have got on the video. Then we came out of there, we took some like stupid touristy pictures with our head through the holes on these boards and, you know, stuff like that. Then we went round and we actually did a tour of the sourdough factory. Now, San Francisco is called the Foggy City. The basics of it is, it said that the fog helps with the yeast that is used to make sourdough, and basically you will never have sourdough like this. So like, okay. So we go in, we go around the shop. The shop is actually quite magical because they have baskets flying around above your head that are filled with bread, and it is quite like, oh my god, it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory only with bread. Anyway, so we go up the stairs, we do the tour. There's free samples on the tour, so of course we have some, and it's like, I don't know how you describe it. I think they like put bread out and then just left it, and it had kind of got a little bit stale. So we're like, it's not the greatest, but you know, I get the gist. And all of that stuff. So we come out, and there's like a little market off to the side, selling street food, and there's a few little restaurants that you can go and sit in and that sort of thing. And obviously their main thing is fish. You are right at the parts where the fish come in, so you know this is going to be fresh as. I don't eat fish. So my mum's like, right, well, you know, I am quite hungry, and I'm like, Mum, I'm really not, you know, I'm still full from breakfast. I was like, oh no, you know, I want something, but obviously I don't want you going without. And I'm like, Mum, I'm really not hungry. So this carried on for about half an hour as we're walking around all these different stores. I'm going, Mum, I'm not hungry. Mum, I'm not hungry. Mum, I'm not hungry. Anyway, we settled upon this little store thing, and my mum got a sourdough pot of this, I think it was crab chowder. So obviously my mum's never had like a proper chowder, so that's going to be an adventure for her. And I'm gonna have to mute. Oh, that's better. Yeah, my mum's never really had a proper sourdough. So what they do for this is they buy like I think what the British would call a cob, like a massive, a bloomer, you might call it. It's big anyway. And they sort of like cut the top off and then take out the inside, put the crab chowder inside, and you get the inside to sort of like eat with and whatnot. Anyway, my mum really enjoyed it, so like, you know, that's really good. So we had a look around a few more shops and made our way back over to the bus stop. We get talking to the woman in the office, right? And she's lovely. She's like this kind of like teenager, and I can't remember where she was from, but she was a pastor's daughter, and we managed to get her to swear, which was, I'm still proud of that achievement. Because you never make a pastor's daughter swear, you know, they're supposed to be holier than thou. Anyway, so we sat there, and she goes, well, you know, the next bus is due in like 10 minutes or something. So we're talking a little bit to her, and, you know, she's asking where we're from and what we're doing and all this sort of stuff. And the bus goes past us. It doesn't stop for us. So we're like, right, great. We actually ran around the corner to try and catch this bus, but it had gone at this point, right? Which is when we actually saw the hire shop. And the hire shop, you can get these, like, I don't know how you describe them. They're like little pods. And you can hire them, like, it's like a little go-kart type thing, and you can go driving around the city, either by yourself or with someone else, and, you know, it's really good. And we're like, oh wow, bet you that's expensive, I'm not doing that. Anyway, we go back to the shop, we're like, yeah, we missed that one. And we get talking to the woman again, and she is genuinely, I don't know, she will probably never listen to this or see my videos, so she's probably no idea who I am. But she was genuinely one of the loveliest people that I met on the entire trip. She was so nice with us. And I think with talking with her, it kind of hit it home for me and my mum, just how different our ways of life actually are. And we talked about everything. You know, we talked about, like, the homeless problem that San Francisco's got, the politics of it, Donald Trump, who, by the way, isn't that popular in California. Just thought you might like to know that. He's really not got many fans there. But we did have a run-in with a Trump supporter, and I will tell you about that when we're a few more episodes in. Anyway, we're talking with her. We then, I think, did we go to another shop? Oh no, there was a restaurant down the road. Oh, and I'm so proud of this, right? I think did I bin it? I think I binned it because it broke. But I went down to this restaurant because I was, like, really thirsty. And you know, in America, if you ask for a large drink, you basically get given a bucket. I went and got a large drink, and it was a self-filling one. Well, you filled it yourself. And oh my god, it was amazing. I got this, like, fruit punch thing. Oh my god, I've never seen the drink since, but oh, it was just delicious. So nice. Probably just made of sugar, but I don't care. That was really nice. And they had these little donut ball things, cereal flavoured donut balls. So I got a portion of them for my mum and a portion for me, because I'm generous like that. And I was just more made up the fact I was bringing home one of these big-arsed American cups. I was happy with that. And anyway, yeah, so we got on the next bus, and the bus is it's good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, you know, if you've seen the video, you've seen how it was going across San Francisco Bridge. Like, that fella, he didn't stop talking, the tour guide. It's kind of what you want, but he was just bombarding you with that much information that me and my mum just kind of zoned out, and we just started talking to each other and pointing out our own little bits of interest. Yeah, so we crossed over Golden Gate Bridge, and we had a little rest stop over there, and then got back on the bus. We went round a national park, and right, okay, I should probably explain this a little bit better. So San Francisco is one of them zero emission cities, and they claim to have some of the cleanest air in the world. Now, we'd heard about this sort of before we went over, and obviously a lot when you're over there, because it is something that they're proud of, and rightly so. But I wasn't ready for when we turned into this national park. I can't remember the name of it, but you have to go past some like army barracks and stuff like that. Like, it's weird. Anyway, so there are massive fir trees all around you, and I'm sat at the back of a double-decker bus, which, by the way, it's a British bus. They had the doors on the left-hand side, so I mean, they'd put indoors on the right-hand side as well, but I was like, Mum, this is a British bus. I recognise it. And I was right. Anyway, we turned this corner, and I could smell the trees. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's like where I'm from. If you want to go and smell a tree like that, you have to go up to the tree and sniff. I'm on the road. I'm not close to trees, and I can smell them. Really strong smell, and it was amazing. I mean, really amazing, because you just don't expect it to be like that. You know, you think, oh yeah, there'll be maybe different smells and stuff like that, but you're not expecting to be able to smell these massive trees at the back of a bus. Like, it's amazed me. It really has, and it's really made me think, actually, I need to start doing something. So, basically more places around the world can experience that sort of thing. Anyway, that's for another rant. We go around the national park, we're told this is where they filmed bits of the new Jurassic Park film, and then we're shown the school that O.J. Simpson went to, and you're told all about, the earthquake in 1907, was it? I think, so around then, that basically wiped out most of San Francisco, and, you're told about all the different fires and names mentioned and everything like that. Like, it was really interesting, certain bits. But, like, there was a community centre that we went past, which is the Rosa Parks Community Centre. That didn't get mentioned at all. It was me and my mum that saw that from the bus, and we were like, oh wow, look at that, oh my god, get a picture. And that's then, like, you've gone past it, we saw the house where they filmed the Addams Family. We got told about the Mrs. Doubtfire house, but we actually didn't get to see it. But we went through the area that it's in, so I have been close to it. But obviously, I'm just going to have to go back to San Francisco at some point, because I need to go and see the Mrs. Doubtfire house. So, there's my excuse. Anyway, evening starts to set in. And we're on an open-top bus at the back. It starts getting cold, and I mean cold. So earlier on in the trip, I'd actually said to my mum, like, look, I've got this coloured hoodie, just put it on. My mum was like, oh, well, thanks. So she puts it on, and she's like, oh, this actually will never fit you. We're very complimentary to each other, me and my mum. I should probably say that now. But yeah, and it was quite tight on my mum, to be fair. But anyway, so she had it on, and she's like, oh, do you want your hoodie back? And I don't know where it comes from, but I'm sort of like a thing of, I look after people around me rather than look after myself. So I'm like, no, I'm fine. My mum's like, are you not cold? I'm like, no, Mum, I'm fine. However, one thing I had noticed, near to where our bus was going to stop, at like the bit where we got on in this Union Square, there is a Dyson shop, and Dyson sell hairdryers. So I said, oh, come on, Mum, let's go in the Dyson shop. Mum's like, no, I don't want to go and look at Hoovers now. I'm like, Mum, Dyson do hairdryers. They have them out on display. Mum's like, okay, not really following you, but okay. So we went in, and this woman comes over and she's like, oh, look at the hair dryers, and they're really good and everything like that. So I'm like, typical British person, I'm just talking to her about these hair dryers, making it look as if I'm going to buy one. Never in my life had an intention of buying one, but I managed to turn one on and passed it to me mum. I'm like, yeah, warm yourself up, love. And then that's when my mum is with the hairdryer. She's spraying this hot air up her top, and that's when she just turns to the woman. She's like, I'm not buying anything, I've only come in here to get warm. Like, it was so awkward but hilarious at the same time. So we did have a little mooch around that shop, and it's quite interesting. But next door is the world's largest Macy's store. It's I think the fella said it was 8 stories or something like that. And originally when it opened, it only stocked women's products, and then they sort of diversified. So we had a look round. Macy's is a really good store, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a very well-known American brand. It's very expensive. Like, more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Now, maybe it's just because it's in the middle of San Francisco. I don't know. But, yeah, Macy's was very expensive. And they have on these little displays where you can go and try some of the products. So one of them is a little foot massager. And I said to my mum, right, come on, I'll set it up for you, but you try this. And it basically it compresses your feet at some points, and my mum actually near enough cried because it squeezed her feet that hard. My mum thought that it malfunctioned and that she was basically going to lose her feet. So we turned that off quite quick, and then I tried it afterwards, and yeah, it did. It hurt. Like, it wasn't even pleasurable. It just hurt. But anyway, so the bottom floor in Macy's is a food court. Well, quite a lot of it is. It's not fully. So they have there's like a Subway. I think there's a Dunkin' Donuts. Different like kiosks that you can go to and get stuff. Anyway, I needed to use the restroom at this point, so I go over to the men's restroom, and there is a notice on the door. Say, this door is locked. Please go to one of these shops, and it has like a little list, and ask for the code. So I'm like, oh shit. I bet you I have to have bought something here. And so I go over, and I talk to this woman at the counter. I'm like, you don't happen to have the code for the men's toilets, do you? And she turns to me and she goes, $11.99. And I'm like, what? She goes, $11.99. And I'm like, but sorry, I only want the code. And she goes, $11.99. So I sort of like walk off, and I'm like, all right, thanks. Then it dawned on me, she wasn't trying to charge me $11.99. That was the code. I felt so stupid afterwards. But yeah, anyway, I had a really good time in the restroom. And actually, the main reason that we'd gone down to the food court was because we'd been on one of these underground levels, and I thought, oh, I'm safe to have a fart over here, because there's no one really around here. So I thought, this will be a quiet one. I was wrong, and basically emptied that whole section, including me and my mum. I mean, we both laugh about it now. My mum was not laughing at the time. She was so embarrassed. She was like, oh my god. So I just casually walked off and went downstairs to the food court, with a very red face, I must say. But yeah, so we actually ate in the food court. We went to the sourdough factory that we'd been and seen. They have their own little cafe there, where obviously they use the sourdough products. So I had this like bacon and cheese something grill, and my mum had something else. and the drinks and whatnot. And it was actually quite nice because that was the first time on the holiday that we were eating out, but we were sat down talking to each other. And I really enjoyed that. That was really nice. Anyway, we go out to Macy's, make our way along, and I think, was it on that? No, I don't think it was. I can't remember who it was. Hang on. Sorry, I cannot remember what happened. Was it at the end of this video? Yes, it is. Okay, right. I know where I'm up to now. Then, so yeah, we'd seen these cable cars, as they're called over there, and said, "Oh, come on, can't come to San Francisco and not do it. So come on." So we tried getting onto a cable car. None of them had stopped for us, and we were like, right, great. That's kind of a little bit offensive. Anyway, we ended up walking down to the turnaround point, and they have this little office where you can pay with cash. And I didn't know that you have to buy a ticket before you can just hop on and hop off. And if you want to pay with cash, you have to walk to the end of the line. Yeah, that's fun. And while we were stood there, like the night before, I'd said to me, I was looking through the free paper, and I'd said to my mum, like, "Oh my God, there's a thing on here, on such and such a road, and the Rembrandts are playing." And the Rembrandts are the ones who did the theme song for the hit series Friends. You know that one, that I'll be there, that one. They wrote and sang that. And it was, from what I could gather, it was free. There was no link in the paper or details of how to get tickets or anything like that. So I'm like, oh, come on, Mum, really? Well, by this point, we've walked down to the end of the line, which, okay, isn't miles away from Macy's, but it's been a long day. We both need a decent night's sleep. We did both really want to go and see the Rembrandts because, it's Friends, it's big, However, we saw the queue. It was big. And I remember turning to my mum like, "Mum, no, I'm sorry. I can't. I really can't." Because you're going to queue in there. You're going to queue out here. You're going to probably queue in there. We're probably going to be stood right at the back, so you're not going to get a decent view. I really need my bed. So Mum's like, "Oh, okay." So we go along, we get our tickets, and we wait our turn to go onto the cable car. And in the video, you see, we do the cable car. And basically, kind of when the video ends is kind of when our day ended. We walked up a block to the entrance of our hotel. I had another smoke. We went in, and we went to bed, because that's the happy, fun people that we are. I mean, we were knackered, the both of us were, and I apologised to my mum in the hotel room again. I was like, "Mum, I'm really sorry. I just need my bed." And my mum at this point was a bit like, "Yeah, I do too, actually." So I went downstairs, got a thing of ice, filled up our ice bucket, came into the room, got our drink sorted, because me and my mum are them people that we like to have a drink next to us when we're sleeping. So, if you wake up thirsty during the night, you just have a little swig, put it down, and you can go back to sleep. It's the theory. Normally you wake up an hour later needing the toilet. Anyway, that was our, I don't know what you'd call it, really. Technically it's our second day, but it's a little bit of our third. I don't know. But anyway, that was what happened when we were in San Francisco. And yeah, I loads of memories on that day. It was a really good day. Wouldn't really recommend the tour company, only because the tour guide was kind of a little bit fast in his talking. His jokes were awful, and yeah, that's kind of it really. But I mean, no, the tour was worth it because we got to meet that American pastor's daughter. She was lovely. She really was so nice. But yeah, that's it for that day, and that is it for this podcast. So yeah, please have a little look in the video description bit below. There will be a link to my gift gaff. Please go and sign up. Order a SIM card through the unique link, and it will be loaded with £5 whole when you get it. Because that's so generous like that. Gift Gaff is truly the network run by you. Thank you so much for listening. I know that I really have gone on on this video. And yeah, I severely hope that you are all staying safe and self-isolating. How is your isolation going? Leave us a little comment in the comment bit below, and I will try and get back to you at some point. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.